listening to Cain and Randy on Scratch the Vinyl.
Scratch the Vinyl. All right, everybody, welcome back to Scratch the Vinyl. You made it back, and we kind of knew that you would. You know, it's been going great, and once again, like we say every week, we owe it all to you guys that are listening. The grassroots movement of this show just keeps moving on, and we are the little podcast that keeps chugging along, everybody, and getting bigger and bigger, and we owe it all to you. So we have a massive week here. I mean, we've already had Lonely Winners on the show talking about Lincoln Exposed. We have Lincoln Exposed looming in a good way, not like your, I don't know, gross ex hanging out in the corner watching you from almost afar, but it is here, and it is going to be so massive. Like I said, when we were on with them, it just has a huge feel this year. Every year feels big, but this year feels bigger, everybody, and it just keeps getting better and better. So before I get them on, let's get another guy who, to me, is an entertainment massive killer in the industry. I love him so much. He is the chill man himself, Mr. Chill, Randy Wilson. How are you?
Cain, how you doing today? I'm excited. Lincoln Exposed is coming our way. But before we get to all that, we got to give a big shout out to your wife. It's her birthday.
It is her birthday. I got to give a shout out to Alicia. She's the real hero out there, everybody. She puts up with my crap, which is not an easy task, everybody. And so she's the real hero when it comes to all of this stuff. So yeah, happy birthday to her. You know, Randy, another big thing we have going on is, I mean, there's massive sports things going on. The Winter Olympics, man. I mean, I told you when we had the Summer Olympics how much we love it here, but I dig the Winter Olympics almost more. I mean, I like the bobsledding. I like curling. I like figure skating. I like all of this stuff. But what do you like watching Winter Olympics as much as Summer Olympics, Randy?
Well, probably not.
Oh, no.
It's too cold. It's too cold. No, I love it. I used to get into it quite a bit, you know, because we didn't, you know, have a lot to watch on TV. Olympics was a big thing for quite a many years. And, you know, I remember the Miracle on Ice and stuff like that, but I don't watch it as much anymore. So I'll be honest, I don't.
Well, you know, I was pre-gaming before this, and I was watching Cool Runnings to get myself all excited for the Winter Olympics. And
now that's a classic.
Dude, it is a classic. And the fact that Jamaica actually has a bobsled team it gives you something to feel good about. So I'll be watching Mighty Ducks later, probably, you know, and high-fiving myself, and me and my dogs are going to have a hell of a day. So, but let's get into it. I mean, I don't want to waste it, Randy. As much as I would love to get into all this other stuff, there's just too much going on. We have two huge guests, as promised. This is a 2-for week. It is a Lincoln Exposed week here on the show, and we have two of the guys that are out there, and they're making it all possible, everybody. They are booking these bands, and they're getting them in. So let's bring them on right now. We have Otto Meza, and we have Dustin Duff himself on the show. How are you guys doing?
Great, man. I want to talk about Cool Runnings. It's a great movie. Classic.
Dude, it is. Like, I know there's a lot of great Winter Olympics movies, I guess, out there, but nothing compares to it, right? Like, if you're going to pregame for it, you got to watch that one first, don't you?
Heck yeah.
I just feel like I've been watching a whole bunch of John Candy movies lately, and that is not a problem at all.
That documentary was killer, but man, it really makes you tear up. Like, it really makes you remember just how much you love John Candy and like how big of a impact he had on everybody just through his movies and his performances, man. It sucks that John Candy isn't here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Those aren't pillows, Randy. Those aren't pillows.
See, you do right where I was going with that.
Yeah, I only watched that movie about 30 times around Thanksgiving. So I found that I tend to binge the craziest movies over and over again. Like, I went an entire 2 weeks of watching Titanic and then also watching Little House on the Prairie every single day. And I think I need help. So if there's anyone out there who wants to offer their services, please, I probably need the help.
I was going to send a search and rescue for you. That is a certain serious depression, my friend. We got to work on this.
Well, I need more music in my life, which
Well-
which is a great segue into something that we all need here. We're all Midwesterners here, and we talk about this a lot, Randy. And what we need is music. We need live music, and these guys they're putting their best foot forth, and they are bringing in 100. Well, what is it? 110 plus bands or whatever.
I think my last count was in the 120s range.
Man,
Just a couple more than last year. So bigger and better every year is our goal.
I can't think of a better thing for the local scene than to pump up the local scene like what you guys are doing. You're literally putting on this massive thing, and this has been around for years, right? This has been around. This is the 21st year, I believe. And our guy Pete Waters, who was just on the show not too long ago, he started it all, and you guys are carrying the torch. So, Randy and I just want to say thank you from us to you for what you guys are doing for the local scene.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to the people that show up and the bands that play. They're the talent. We're just filling out spreadsheets.
Yeah.
When we had Pete on, he said it best. He said, the major success to what the Zoo Bar was and the local scene was because we do have the people willing to show up even in the dead of winter. And, he talked about how, one of the big reasons he started it was because wanted to get these local bands during a time period of the year that really the bars kind of struggled a little bit and needed patrons. And he was always amazed by how many people would still show up, no matter how cold it was, for some great live music. And so it's awesome to see that it's still carrying on today after all these years. But it takes guys like you guys and promoters to keep getting it out there, to keep reminding people why we do this. And so,
well, and not only that, Randy, I mean, it's there was a long time, and I was a cover band player for many years, but I started thinking to myself many years ago, like, man, this is really kind of like, no offense to cover bands, and I love cover bands. I know they're going to slap me for this, but I felt like it was damaging at the time, I felt like it was kind of damaging the scene a little bit, right? Like, I felt like so many people were going to listen to this jukebox type mentality, and they would go up and, they'd have their set list, and these people would come and they would just want to hear the same old jukebox type stuff. But you guys aren't providing that. You guys are providing, I mean, that's what I want to explain to the audience, if you haven't been, is that you guys are providing us with all original bands. So here is 100 and some plus bands, and it's all original music. These are the artistic minds of our area, and it's just a fantastic thing. So I got to ask you guys, I'll start with Otto first. Why did you get into booking, and what do you love about the local music scene here?
I started working at the Zoo Bar, I don't know, 72 years ago in 19 dickety-doo. No, I'm just kidding. I started working at the Zoo Bar as a bartender. My very first shift was Josh Boyer's wedding, which was ridiculously crazy there. And then somehow I just fell into starting to book shows there. And ever since then, I just loved it. I mean, I love just music altogether. Hanging out at the Zoo Bar has always been my favorite thing since I was like, I don't know, a little bit younger than 21. But just all the great bands that have come through. The local bands are great. I mean, I didn't know how much talent there was here in town until I got older, obviously. And then somehow we got roped into doing Lincoln Exposed, and I was like, holy crap, what is this? And I think Spencer Munson brought us in, and he was booking at the time. And then all of a sudden we just took over, and it's been a ride. I mean, it's gotten bigger every year. And more bands just start showing up and like, hey, we want to play, we want to do this. And it's nothing but excitement for me. I love it. I don't know. I mean, the music here in town is ridiculously awesome. I love that we have a great music scene, not just at the Zoo Bar, but like, at Duffy's, here at the Bourbon, Bodegas, and 1867. There's a lot of great music that comes through all these great clubs. And I mean, if you have time, go to every show you can. I mean, I do. I try to. Right?
No. Listen, that is the whole premise of our show. Was me and Cain got to talking, and I used to do a lot of promoting downtown, and I tell him all the time. I said, "Man, we have some unbelievable talent here in such it would seem like in such a small area, but I mean we're a little big city is what I like to say. We've got everything, but we're not like Nashville. We're not the coast. But let me tell you what, we've got some unbelievable, great local bands. And we just said, hey, we'd like to start highlighting a lot of that. And I'm so impressed with a lot of these younger bands that are coming along and just kind of seeing where their influences have come from. And it gives me hope, man. It just gives me hope because they're out there just killing it. And Lincoln Exposed is just the perfect opportunity to put all these bands together. And as a fan or a listener of live music, here's your opportunity, man. You get 4 days in a row to go and see as many of them as you can for such a great price. And it's worth it. It's worth it.
I'm glad you said little area too, because that's one of the most unique parts about this festival is we've got 5 major music venues in a 1-block radius. If you don't like what you're seeing, it's going to take you 3 minutes to go to another venue and check something else out. That's probably going to be completely different.
Well, yeah, that's the joy of it is you can move about, you can do whatever you want, right? You can go check out this band at 1867. You can move your way on down the line, right? You can do all this. So let's talk about all these venues for the people that don't know. So what all venues exactly are people going to have access to?
1867 Bar, Bodegas Alley, Bourbon Theater, Duffy's Tavern, and of course the world famous Zoo Bar.
And how do like the musicians out there? So this year's this one's pretty set, but I mean, in the future, how do these musicians get on board with this? What do they have to do, or what's the process to be part of the bands?
Generally, we welcome submissions as long as, people can give us music and, a decent amount of details, and we try as best we can for just to fit everybody that we can in. Obviously, there's bands, like, we can't get everyone in. There's just no way. Which is even more impressive that there's even more original bands that we just don't have space for this time around, at least. Or there's scheduling issues, things like that.
So what's the process then? It's what, like $35 for an all access pass? Is that what I understand it to be? Yeah. So you can go all of the nights, all of the different venues once you get the pass?
Yep. We also have day passes available if you can only make it out for 1 or 2 or 3 of the dates. But it's honestly, if you're going to make it out for 3, just go for that all access pass.
Yeah, that's the best value. I mean, that's what I'm pushing to people when they're asking me about it. Is I'm like, just get the pass. Like, I mean, you're helping the whole scene by being a part of this. So why wouldn't you just get the pass, go to all these different places, check out all these bands that you maybe have seen or have never seen, and just revel in the fact that Lincoln is putting on something so huge.
And let's be honest, $35 is cheap anymore. Like to go see a national act anymore. If you're not probably spending $50 to $100, and I get it, they're a national act, but man,
but $35 for 125 plus bands.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Even if you only like 35 of them, that's $1 a band.
Yep. Even if you walk out on one, you're still gonna get your money's worth.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm definitely planning on coming down for some of this. I want to get some people together and check it out. I just think it's great what you guys are doing, but I want to kind of dive into a little bit more about you guys, so people get to know you. So I'll ask Duff, like, how did you get into the music scene like this, and how did you get into booking also?
So back in the day, I played in a terrible death metal band. And I just kind of reached that moment where, I'm not very good at playing, but pretty good at booking and making posters. Started booking house shows. I was working at the Bourbon right after we opened in like 2009. Eventually, they put me on the booking team. Since then, I went to Duffy's for about 4.5 years, came back, done a few shows at other spots, just if scheduling didn't work out. But I just really like music in general, and booking music is a lot of fun.
So what was your death metal band? What was the name of that band?
Oh,
come on.
Speed Kill, one word.
Nice.
No, yes. Not really.
No, I
used to look that up online.
I won't look it up. I used to promote a lot of metal bands down at the Spigot. And
I remember.
And that, you know what? Those guys, every band that came in, those guys were awesome. Like, I loved the support that all the other bands gave to all those guys. Like, this is what I kind of really loved about the scene in downtown that I think you don't see in other big cities, is that everybody's really opened and helped support live music around here. And I wasn't sure. I'd kind of been out of it for about 12 years or so. And so I wasn't really sure how the scene was looking. But us talking to a lot of the bands lately, and even the younger bands, it is alive and well. Like, I think a lot of it comes from the kind of the post-COVID thing where we didn't have any, being restricted from going to see live stuff. You found out how much you really missed that. And I think it brought people closer together even. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I mean, COVID did kind of mess up the music scene for that, 2 years, almost 3 years. And then all of a sudden, bam, everybody's like, you know what? Screw it. Let's go see some more live music. And it's just gotten bigger, I think. I think everybody's gotten more together, I guess. Just like, hey, let's go see this show, and it's great to see how many people show up for shows and supporting these acts like all over town. It's a good thing. I really love it. Love seeing all the people coming out for shows.
In 2021, we had the smallest Lincoln Exposed that we've ever organized. I think we had maybe 51 bands, and it was in the middle of summer, which is so strange to be sweating, standing outside of Duffy's during Lincoln Exposed. But it was interesting. People were starting to come back out, and it was a good feeling, at least for a little bit there before it got scary again.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the Dirt Fed show is a prime example of why people are really showing out, right? Like, that to me really blew my mind. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we started talking to Brock Wetstead from Dirt Fed before all of that happened, and we were kind of poking and prodding him. He didn't even know that we were going to talk about Dirt Fed, but we had that little ace in our sleeve where we wanted to kind of hit him with the questions about it because Dirt Fed was huge.
It's funny you bring that up because I was also poking at Brock for years and years. And as the Bourbon representative for that show, I was the one who finally convinced them to lock in a date. And like, hey, you're doing it. Like, you talk about it every once in a while. You can't keep talking about it unless you do something. And so we locked it in for August, and it was awesome. So
that was going to be my question to you, was were you kind of behind all of that, getting them there? Because I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't matter if it was local or not, that was a magical night. I mean, that night was as good as any national show that I've been to. The feeling, everything about it was epic, man.
Yeah, I agree. That was exactly what I thought it was going to be. I don't know if they expected quite the turnout. Like, nah. There's a lot of people that want to see you guys play at least one last time, if not more. So, and we saw that with the attendance.
And we've kind of seen a snowball effect from it. Like, it's kind of got it's kind of got everybody it got them kind of pumped up to get back out there. And we saw that a little bit with the Metal Manifesto. And you got, just people excited again to go see those bands. And
Well, and let's be honest, the music scape in Lincoln is great right now, right? They open up the music box, they have the music district there now, and all of you guys and all this cohesiveness of the bars is all working together. The bands are actually working together, and I think that it's just going to get bigger and bigger, man. I think that Lincoln is already on the map, but I think we're getting on the map. People know that we have a lot going on here. Now I'm not gonna say, yeah, we're the next Nashville or anything like that, right? But I definitely believe in Lincoln enough to know that we have the talent here and we have a lot of good things going. So how do you guys feel about the current music scape here? The way things are going is going pretty well, isn't it?
Yeah, as long as people are going out, supporting these shows, I mean, it's only going to help not just the bands but the clubs as well, and bringing in more and more people, and then then you get the recognition, and everybody just comes out. So right now it's great. You can catch. I mean, I've noticed that you can catch a show almost every night of the week. There's a bands playing almost every night of the week, and I mean, if you really love it, go out, like check it out, support all of it. Support live music, support local. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I try to catch some of it. Sometimes, I'm a little too busy with work, but I got to start, getting out a little bit more.
I mean, the cohesiveness is very crucial to the success of all of the clubs downtown. Like everybody, for the most part, we've all tried to work with each other and together and not try to overlap bookings on each other for years and years, which is very cool for downtown Lincoln. And it allows a festival like this to exist, and everyone's on the same page and having a great time with it. And I'm curious to see, and kind of excited to see what happens with MBX and other changes that are going to be utilized in the next year or two with the music district.
Well, not only that, but now, we've been a trumpet about this now for a little while, but Noisel Music, Noisel.com has the Nebraska Music app, which is pretty damn cool, right? I mean, to have a localized streaming app for all of our artists to get on and to get paid is pretty cool. So I don't know. Have you guys seen a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've talked with Mikey about it. It looks fun.
Well, I definitely hope it takes off like I think it's going to. But you artists that are listening, we do have a lot of musicians that listen to the show. You guys got to get on this thing, because the only way it's going to work is if you guys get your music on there, right? So don't be afraid. You don't have to be ASCAP. You don't have to be BMI. You don't have to have you don't even have to have your music on Spotify, but get it on Noisel so that local people can hear what you're doing, and really people all over the world. I mean, you don't just have to be here to get the app. So that's my pitch on that.
Well, you just hit the nail on the head. It's so important that if you want to put out your music, this is going to be a great way to do that, and it's going to highlight our local artists and our state artists, and it's going to give them an opportunity to actually make a little money. And I hope that is. I don't want to say it's the main incentive, but there's something about when you start feeling like you're getting something out of what you're putting out there. I think it just elevates the level of these bands. And we've been fortunate to be talking to a lot of these local bands lately, and it's exciting. And I think this is a perfect time for Lincoln Exposed, because we have all these things happening, and it is just reinforcing the scene. So I'll let you continue with your thought, Cain.
Well, no, I'm glad that I have you to kind of reel me in. But what I'm getting at is, something like this, and I didn't know I was going to go into an ad for Noisel, but why not? They're a good sponsor of ours. But I will say this: artists aren't getting paid. All right, the system is broken, right? We're all on Spotify. I'm on Spotify. I have my EP on Spotify. We're not making anything, and that's not what it's about to me. I've told you this, Randy, and it's just about having maybe one person connect to my song and have my song do what millions of songs have done for me, which is pull me out of my depression, get me through another day. And that's really the hope there. But I mean, it does help. I mean, it does us musicians. We have a lot of money tied into our stuff. I mean, all the instruments we have, all of the gear that we lug around. I mean, I've been at it for a long time, Randy, believe it or not.
Just the practice time alone, you know, to see how good some of these guys are, they have to put in the work. And so it's exciting when we see these opportunities come up. And I'm so proud that Lincoln is a big part of that.
Out in the wild, there's one creature feared by hunters, admired by lumberjacks, and envied by hipsters.
Yeah, it's me, the elegant Sasquatch, and let me tell you, these locks don't tame themselves.
Introducing the Elegant Sasquatch Grooming Company. Beard oils, butters, and washes so good, they'll make your face smell like you wrestled a cedar tree while sipping fine whiskey.
Last week, a hiker followed me for 3 miles just to ask what cologne I was wearing. Joke's on him. I don't wear cologne. I wear the gentleman.
Upgrade your beard game. Sophisticate your outer beast. Find the Elegant Sasquatch Grooming Company at elegantsasquatchco.etsy.com.
And stop stealing my jerky!
Well, and I mean, speaking of Lincoln Exposed, I mean, there's going to be so many musicians in there that are so much better than me. I'm going to be there slobbering on their instruments, looking at their gear, high-fiving them. And, you know, people like Tom Edelman, you know, all these people, we all know that these guys are throwing down. I mean, Josh Hoyer and what Josh does every time him and his bands get out on stage is nothing short of magical, and it's all going to be there. But I mean, guys, this is a music show where we talk about vinyl, we talk about cassettes, we talk about all this stuff. So let's pose a question right now, Randy. Let's get at you guys. What do you guys got in your collections? I mean, do you guys buy vinyl? Do you guys still listen to 8-track tapes in your Trans Am? What do you guys listen to?
I've got a couple 8-tracks sitting around. I don't have a player anymore, so there's really no reason to have them, but, you know, just nostalgia from when I actually did have an 8-track player.
Yeah, lots of vinyls, lots of CDs, lots of CDs I've never opened. They just kind of collected their, you know, over the years of working at the zoo. A lot of the bands, you know, not saying that I don't love their music, it's just, you know, I forget that I had them. A few cassettes here and there. No 8-tracks. I thought I had one, but I didn't, I guess. Whatever. It's not missing much there.
It's okay. I busted all mine. They eventually snap. It's just it was a terrible form of putting music out. It was cool. It seemed cool at the time, but in retrospect, it was a bust.
Yeah, kind of like the mini discs. Remember those?
Oh,
yeah.
Early 2000s or whatever.
Nobody wants to remember that now.
Yeah. I think I had a Pink Floyd Animals mini disc somewhere.
Well, if you're going to buy a physical copy, who wants an elf size copy of something? Yeah. You know, like nobody wants that. But they thought that was going to be the hotness. But, you know, who are they anyway? But what do you guys have for, like, do you have a prized possession or prized record or something in your collection that stands out to you as something that is, like, you would never get rid of it? You'd take it on an island with you if you had to. Do you have something like that?
For me, it would be, okay, so I got a lot of my vinyls from my dad. And one of them that's really stood out was Jimi Hendrix, Ladyland, Electric Ladyland. But it's the all nude women on the cover. And I asked my dad, where'd you get this? He goes, I knew somebody. So that one is one that I would never give up. I remember Stuart from Recycled Sounds wanted to buy it for me once, and I'm like, nah, sorry, but I'm not going to give this up. I mean, I've got a great collection, first pressing of lots of great vinyls, and my dad kept them in really good shape, and I'm still doing that as well, just keeping them, clean as possible. No scratches on any of them. But yeah, I mean, I've got stuff from, I don't know, Bruce Springsteen to Elvis to Willie Nelson to, Conway Twitty. Love that guy. Like Blondie, all the old Blondie ones, old 80s punk and, anything. I love music, so I just buy whatever. And, I've got a lot of like random stuff, like a bunch of weird mariachi band vinyls. And I think I have a Sesame Street one out there somewhere too. They sing the alphabet. So.
Otto's in my wheelhouse. He's in my wheelhouse.
I don't know. His collection sounds like mine. I mean, I've got aerobics records. I've got like everything you can think of. No, that's awesome. What about you, Duff? I mean, when you consume music, what's your go-to on it?
I mean, I really still love listening to CDs, and maybe part of that is that I have. I was the metal director at KRNU for 12 years. I've got a lot of CDs sitting around my place. Mountains and mountains of CDs and shelves of CDs, which is cool to have. But I also got a lot of records, tapes, what have you. Just whatever you can get from whichever band that you want to support and have a physical product of their music just to consume at home.
So you got a favorite?
I got a ton of favorites. I got a lot of stuff that just reminds me of certain shows, maybe an autograph or two. Just like shows that stick out in my head, but I can't. It would be like 12 things if I started listing them right now, at least. So I'm going to spare you.
It's such a loaded, we do post this because we can't answer it ourselves, Randy. It's a loaded question for sure. Like, I know people come at me all the time and they ask me like, what's your favorite? Who's your favorite? Like, you mean this week? You mean this hour? Like, exactly. I really don't know. Like, I tell people my favorite band is Smashing Pumpkins. And I would say the biggest reason why is seeing them live solidified it for me. And I know a lot of people, they don't like Billy Corgan. They don't like Smashing Pumpkins. They hate the way he sings. But to me, there's a beauty about, how rough it is at times and how, how they bring it all together with all the melody and all that. And then seeing them live, it just solidified it for me. So that would be my pitch. But then I listened to another band an hour later and I'm like, oh, but that's my favorite band. Right. So it's so hard to go with. But I mean, listening to all this is great, but there's nothing greater than going to live music, I think. Right. And that's why we're here together is you guys are putting on this live, we'll call it, I don't know what do you call it, a festival? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're putting on all this live music. And this is my pitch to you guys listening at home is there is nothing better. If you're having a bad week, if you're having a bad day those days, just go. I mean, you don't have to go out and get wasted. Go enjoy the bands. Like, it's not about that. It's about the live music and all of that. And there's nothing better, really. I mean, Randy, think to yourself, like, of all the shows that you've been to, that's got to be in your top, like, everything that's happened to you in your life probably revolves around a live show that you went to, correct?
Definitely, for sure. I mean, this is what I see. What's unfortunate about kids being stuck to their phones all the time. Like when I was in junior high, it was a big deal to go see a live show during the week. Like if you got to show back up to school the next day with a concert shirt and it was like instant cool status. Like it was like you wear that shirt until it fell off of you, basically. But it was how we interacted. We talked a little bit about this on the last episode where, going to garage bands, going and hanging out, and then getting an opportunity to go see a big act. It was a big deal. And it's I can tell it's obviously it has influenced my music taste my whole life. And we joke all the time about Kiss fans, but I look back and it's because, like you said, they weren't that commercial radio beating you to death. And when you saw them live, it was this unbelievable experience. And so, and honestly, that's just what kind of drew me to live music all the time. And now I look back and just all the shows I got to go see, man, they were awesome. And I know that's a lot of why we do the show, is just to keep that spirit alive and to see what's happening in Lincoln right now. It's just exciting.
Well, I can only imagine you going back back to school the next day with your Kiss makeup running down your face like the Ultimate Warrior after a long match. You know,
You've seen the pictures. I couldn't play the guitar, but I had one.
exactly, man. Well, you really sold me on Kiss. You know, like I liked Kiss, but until we started this show, you and all the musicians that I talked to really sold me on the power of Kiss and how great. And now I'm like obsessed with it. I'm kind of like going through my old person Kiss phase because I didn't have that. You know, the bands that I listened to growing up, they were inspired by bands like that. But I mean, I would have said, if you asked me about Kiss when I was 16, man, that band sucks. You know, like I even said that about Pink Floyd. I know people are gonna slap me, and about Led Zeppelin just because our dads listened to it. And I'm like, oh, puke, you know, like I'm listening to Nirvana and I'm listening to all these punk bands, and I don't care about any of this garbage. And now look at me. I finally sobered up and I realized
I've seen your growth. I've seen your growth. But that's it. You know, we find that we can enjoy all different kinds of music. If it's good, it's good. It doesn't matter what genre it is. And it's actually healthy to expose yourself to a lot more. Like, you kind of know I'm kind of in a rage mode this week for some reason. And I've had everybody out doing Rage Against the Machine, and like, it's been awesome. And I don't know. I think we go through different time periods of life, and you just need a little something. And sometimes you need a little Dolly Parton. I don't know.
well, I mean, I think that I think you're absolutely right on that. I mean, even I say that I thought all that sucked, but I mean, I also listen to Bobby Brown and all this other stuff. So what am I talking about, right? I literally I'm a softie too. Is there anything that you guys can think of that that you wouldn't think, knowing you guys, like that was you were really into? Like me, like I said, I kind of learned how to sing as a singer from listening to the same Bobby Brown tape over and over again. Is there anything that would really shock the people that you guys know? Like, are you guys clutching a NSYNC CD tight, you know, when you're sitting in a corner? What do you guys listen to when nobody's around?
I don't know if it's shocking, but I'm a really big fan of Cameo, like Word Up and Rips.
I don't know. I don't want to embarrass myself, but God dang it. Jewel. I always liked Jewel. Shit.
Don't be embarrassed about that, guys. This is great. This is where we're growing as people, where we can admit it freely that we listen to this stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure Randy listens to the Macarena when nobody's looking at least 30 times a day, right, Randy?
I already listen. I told you Otto was in my wheelhouse. I don't like secretly play Jewel, but there was a time I was a Jewel fan.
Exactly. I mean, shit.
I saw a thing. She did an undercover where they made her look different, and she went in and did a karaoke.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Oh my God. And everybody in the crowd's like, oh my God, she's so good. And then she takes it all off and like, but it showed genuinely that people really did like her stuff.
Yeah. I mean, jeez, I don't know.
This is the true Lincoln Exposed right now. We've exposed you guys.
Anything else you want to ask about my embarrassing stuff?
No, we won't be too hard on you. You know, we just I know that like all things, you know, this one's going pretty fast. You know, we're gonna have to come up with the wrap up here a little bit, but in closing, we really want to know from the guys who are putting it on, what do you guys have to say? What's your pitch for the listener on coming to Lincoln Exposed?
Lincoln Exposed, especially being like right at the beginning of the year, is not only like just an awesome showcase of local music of all different genres. It's really kind of a refresher for the year where if you haven't been out to a bunch of local shows in the past couple months or even in the last year, if you move around, you can catch just a little bit of everything and pretty much have your finger on the pulse of what's happening locally in Lincoln for $35.
Yeah. I mean,
For the low price of $35.
If you really try, you can probably make every show catch one or two songs of every band. I mean, we have it set up where it doesn't really it overlaps a little bit, but enough that you can run to every venue if you could. I mean, it's literally like 2 minutes to walk to the next venue. But yeah, I mean, I did it that one year. I don't know. Did you? Like, we both did that 1 year. We caught.
May have missed like 4 or 5 acts.
Yeah, but
we're just like, we need to catch 1 or 2 songs from everyone.
Yeah, we did it. I mean, if you really try and you really want to do it, I mean, it's fun. You're exposing yourself to new and different kinds of music you're not used to or ever listened to, and that's the beauty of it. You know, we like to put bands out of their comfort zone, like at different clubs where they've never played, and that way, you know, people who frequent that bar or club, they're like, oh, who is this? Oh, maybe I'll catch them next time at Duffy's or the Zoo Bar or 67, like somewhere they've never been to, just to see that one band that they really, really enjoyed. You know, and that's the beauty of Lincoln Exposed. And you know, for the low price of $35,
hard pitch.
Yeah, you could really, really see some good stuff out there. I don't know.
I mean, that's the best part. Like I said, if you don't like something, like, well, all right, let's see what's happening at Bodegas.
Yeah.
Or this isn't really my thing. I'm gonna go to the zoo.
Yeah.
And so why don't you tell everybody what's the best way, what social media, or where can they go to get the tickets or the passes, or what's let's make sure everybody has the way to get there.
Buy the tickets online at urbantheater.com, or you can buy them at the Bourbon Box Office, the Zoo Bar, or 1867, and those won't have the fees on them, or at least very minimal fees. So cheaper to buy in person.
And then we do have an Instagrams out there. What's it called? Lincoln Expose.
Lincoln Expose Fest.
Lincoln Expose Fest. That is that's our Instagram page. So we try to update that with different, you know, whatever's happening, like all the bands are like announcements and whatnot. So that's kind of our main one right there. We don't have a Facebook.
We have a Facebook
event page, yeah, but not an actual page, yeah.
Well, that's all you need. I mean, on Facebook. But I mean, you guys just posted something that I think is a great idea, Randy. I think that for the Scratch the Vinyl Challenge, if someone can prove to us that they went to every single show, be it by video, clip, or whatever, that they're at all, I think that we could probably put together some swag for them, right, Randy? And maybe even give them a personal high five. Hell, I might even have a meal with them and let them buy me a meal. You know what? I mean, no, I would buy them a meal. But if you can prove to us that you actually went to every single show, then I think that we could probably do that. So I invite you guys to do the Scratch the Vinyl Challenge and get out there, pay the $35. It's not that much. And then go to every single one of these shows and just really show out for Lincoln and for these bands. And gosh dang, guys, I can't thank you guys enough for wanting to be on the show and just doing what you're doing. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Love what you guys are doing. It's super rad. It's great. Really like your guys' show.
Well, we appreciate that. And I think, Cain, what we'll do is we'll encourage all the Scratch the Vinyl listeners to go to these shows, take any videos, send them in to us, and we'll pick out a winner and get them. what do you say? Maybe the new Scratch the Vinyl T-shirt and
sticker. I mean, we get some other stuff going. Who knows? I'll even give him one of my
maybe
shirts.
maybe a paid entry to one of the next live shows we go down to the Bourbon or the Zoo for, or something like that.
I think so. I think we're gonna, but you got to prove it to us, everybody. We want you guys to really get immersed in this thing. So I hope to see you guys all down there. I'm gonna be down there, and I know you will too. So I want to thank our guests so much for being on. Duff, don't ever be afraid to have a death metal band like that. I was once in a death metal band that we called Bloodstool, and it went nowhere as well. And so everybody should have a death metal band in their pocket. So thank you guys so much. Get out there, Lincoln, and show everybody that we are the best scene around. And for all the listeners out there, we've proven it to you once again that we are dialed into Lincoln, and we are giving you the best guests, and we're doing it here every week. We'll catch you on the flip side here on
Scratch the Vinyl. Scratch the Vinyl.